From the ECSI Sports Studios and the #1 sports investors in America, we bring you the closing bell. As the market closes, legends Jeff Dawson and Riley Magnuson bring you all the sports investing tips for tonight's matchups. If you want to learn more from the two legends at the desk, make sure you stay tuned to the closing bell. Hey sports fans, are you ready for an exhilarating gaming experience? Introducing VIPClub.lv, your ultimate online sportsbook and casino. VIPClub.lv offers a vast selection of sports, from football and basketball to tennis and baseball. Bet on your favorite teams and enjoy the thrill of the game. But that's not all. Our state-of-the-art online casino offers a dazzling array of games, including slots, blackjack, roulette, and live dealer tables. Win big with their fantastic promotions, rewards, and exclusive offers. Join VIPClub.lv today and get a generous 100% match welcome bonus to start your winning streak. Make sure to use code ECSI at sign-up. Bet it, win it, and cash it at VIPClub.lv. Visit VIPClub.lv now and play responsibly. VIPClub.lv, your sportsbook and casino extravaganza. Must be 21 or older to play. Please gamble responsibly. Visit gambleware.org for help. ECSI fans, do you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all of your sports books and track all of your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You can also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as they're the best account on the platform. Head to the App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire to download the app.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, sports fans from all around the globe. This is East Coast Sports Investors Closing Bell for Wednesday, January 24th. Got to check the calendar for that one today. I am your solo host for the evening, Riley Magnuson, rocking and rolling with everything Wednesday evening basketball slate, college basketball, and NBA. Was dark last night. Had a obviously show Monday evening, recapping a little NFL over the weekend, as well as breaking down Monday's college basketball and NFL slate, or NBA slate, excuse me. Not so great. One of the we only had a few games that we talked about. Two NBA. Bulls got to the window covering. These Dallas Mavericks as home favorites did not. Was leaning that way, as well as I had it flipped on the two college underdogs. I believe both favorites won, if I'm not mistaken, back to Monday, Kansas and UNC. Had it flipped which underdog was covering, so I apologize. That was a swing and a miss on Monday night for the most part there. I did have the Bulls. That was the winner covering the, I want to say it was 5.5 against the Suns. They choke about a 19-20 point lead to lose the game, but managed to hang on to cover. Great teams cover. Good teams win. Great teams cover. So that's what we'll hold on to here in Chicagoland and beyond. But as far as today goes, before we get into today, make sure you stop and head over to WagerWire app. Download on your app store. Head over and check them out on X or any of the other social media apps. Learn more about them. They've got a lot of tools to give you some more resources, give you more options when you're sports wagering or looking to buy, sell, wagers, this and that. Plenty of options that you may not have known existed. They're good people. They'll talk to you if you reach out to them and want to learn more, or obviously even just want to talk sports. There's some good people over there. So bigger slate tonight as far as college basketball and NBA. Don't have the strongest thoughts on any single game. Got a handful of leans and whatnot that we'll talk about. But let's start in the college basketball ranks. We've got a few top 25 games that we're talking about, a handful of Power 5 games beyond that. And then we'll flip on over to the NBA after that, and we'll get on out of here. As far as the early slate, it's for whatever reason, There's not as many. It's a little backloaded. A lot of good games at the 8 o'clock window, 9 o'clock East Coast time. The early one before that, Auburn and Alabama. Alabama, the home team on this one. Auburn has ascended, hasn't had a ton of huge primetime games and whatnot, so it seems like a team that I think a lot of people outside of SEC country especially haven't probably seen too much of. They've had a lot of unranked games, handled business pretty well lately. Obviously, they're 16-2, so the record is one of the best in the country here. It's the reason they're a top 10 team right now per the AP. I believe they are per KenPom as well. But you've got Alabama coming into town, who's 12-6. I can't remember. I think they were ranked early in the season. If not, they were hovering around it, and they had some tough losses earlier. They're playing pretty darn well coming into this past weekend. They did lose to Tennessee on the road there, 71-91. But against this, as I mentioned, top 10 team, the Iron Bowl of basketball, if you will. Alabama minus 3.5 point favorite as the home favorite over this number 8 Auburn team. It is a statement. I don't think you can deny that. Typically, whenever you have, especially a top 10 team up against an unranked team for the AP, some eyes are drawn to it. A lot of people are going to be flocking to Auburn. As far I think it is a statement. I've been on Alabama a handful of times with the lack of success earlier in the season, kind of betting on the fact that they were going to come around and look really good. Start to put together a tournament resume, which they already have been doing. I'm not cannonballing into the deep end with this one, but it is something that you should make note of. Wouldn't be surprised if Alabama wins this game, but isn't able to cover that one. But I will definitely be leaning towards Alabama here. A big total, 163.5. Maybe you're interested in the Alabama team total over 82.5. Big number, obviously, but if this one really gets into a shootout, Alabama could lose this game and still score 85 plus, obviously 83 plus what you would need there. But I think one way or another, Alabama is going to have some success here tonight at home. Coming off, like I said, 71-point performance, lose by 20 at Tennessee. Now you're favored at home against a different, one of these other SEC powers is something to make note of. Before that, they were rolling off some high-powered offensive games there. 93 points in a win over Missouri the game before that last week. So give me some Alabama offense tonight and a win, and I'll lean towards a cover, although I would feel more comfortable. Obviously, it was a little closer to a pick 'em as far as expecting them to win by that many. I do feel comfortable that they are going to win here, but 170 on the money line, obviously not trying to pay for that. So I do think it has gone up a little bit here with some of the ways it's gone, but I'm going to go towards Alabama tonight at home up against this top 10 team per the AP at the very least. A different kind of statement for a home favorite here tonight. This is a ranked team hosting an unranked team in the Big 12 Conference. Iowa State now number 23 per the AP. I believe they're higher than that per KenPom's ranking. I want to say I can get it in a second, but 23 per the AP ranking up against Kansas, who I know was 57th per KenPom. Both have a 14-4 record here. Iowa State is, I had it here. So, number 13 per KenPom, so even higher than 23. I've talked about Iowa State a handful of times. Just as good a defense as they had last year, if you remember. Kind of a tough team to watch because they were pretty horrific offensively. Had some nice upsets where they're winning, 58-55, some of these gross, ugly games. Now they've got a halfway respectable offense, an offense that can actually complement it and kind of be a dark horse, potential Elite Eight type team potentially here if they get enough offense, because this defense is going to travel. It's going to continue to do what it's done all season long here. But anyways, as far as this game is concerned, 2 14-4 teams, a 7.5 point line for a Kansas State team who is 2-1 on the road against the money line, 4-0. Obviously, that doesn't add up. So I got to figure out what my app is doing on that one. But I assume one of those, my app is telling me they're 4-0 against the spread, 2-1 against the money line. I assume one of those 4-0 against the spread. One of those is probably neutral. But anyways, I do know for a fact that they are 2-1 against the money line on the road in the Big 12. One of those losses is still a cover, though, a +6 cover at Texas Tech a week and a half or so ago. And they've been playing good. They just took down Baylor a week ago, took down a halfway decent Oklahoma State at home. Now they're coming into Iowa State. My point is this one still seems like a big number, bigger than what the average person would probably expect for an Iowa State team here. So I do feel like this one is a statement. I think this one probably falls right around that number, and you really need Iowa State's defense to show up here. But a 7.5, 8 point spread here for these two teams. on paper, it doesn't seem like they should be that far away. Feels like a good statement for Iowa State here. I think they take care of business. They are got a nice win on the road over the weekend after a loss to BYU during the week last week on the road. BYU, very good team. So they got their lick back a little bit at TCU as 5-point dogs. Solid win there. Now they get to come back home and put on a show in a pretty in the biggest game they've had at home, at least in a couple of weeks here. So I am going to I don't think Iowa State's getting an upset or falling victim to an upset here tonight. I think they take care of business. 135 on the total. Like I said, their defense has been great all for the most part of the season here. I don't want to say I'm leaning towards the end. This one is kind of right around where they typically have been. The last two games were over 144, 144 and a half. So maybe I would lean towards the under. I would feel a lot more confident this one if it was, closer to 130 or less. But having said that, I think it is a fair number as far as the total. So I'm going to go leaning towards Iowa State and give them I mean, this total is kind of telling you 72-64 type game. I'll go 69-60 for Iowa State tonight here. So Marquette, a big number at DePaul. That one, Marquette's had some weird stinkers on the road and in certain spots here. So I'm not going to dive too deep into that one. DePaul has been pretty bad. So I won't dive too deep into that one. Illinois Northwestern is the last one I wanted to talk about. Illinois, if you're aware, had been a really, really promising team. Still, I mean, even, through some turmoil, were promising. Lost their best player to some allegations. For a few weeks there, it looked like he was not coming back. Terrence Shannon is back, was coming off the bench on Saturday or Sunday against Rutgers. Might have been at home against Rutgers. Put up a really nice amount of points. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Played about 30 minutes still. Put up a really nice number off the bench. Looked really good in his return. They are on the road against Northwestern here tonight. 14-4 Illinois. They are number 10 for the AP. We're starting to slide a little bit. They kind of went back and forth a little bit. I had a tough loss at Purdue, a tough loss at home without Shannon, at home against Maryland. That one kind of made them slip a little bit. They get a win, a big win over Rutgers over the weekend. Like I said, big 15-point win at Michigan earlier in the week last week. Now they're rising back up to number 10 with Shannon back, getting some of that respect back. This Northwestern team is probably going to be, I say probably because I still need to, I still have some work to do. This Northwestern team is good enough to be a tournament team. I think they're probably a top 5 team in the Big Ten this year. So that's why you're seeing the close spread here, 2.5, 3, shading down to the 2.5. So I would lean towards this one being a bad number for Illinois here, and I am leaning towards Northwestern. Still kind of it's obviously goofy. I'm saying it's a measuring stick for Illinois here in almost late January here. But when you got Game 2 of Terrence Shannon coming back, I mean, the average person is going to think he looked great off the bench the other day. They smoked Rutgers. They're going to go into Northwestern and take care of business against a team I think they are already beat by 30, if I'm not mistaken, a few weeks ago without Shannon, actually. That was a game without Terrence Shannon. They beat him by 30, 96-66. So this one is, obviously, it's concerning. I'm backing off of it a little bit because Illinois might be good enough to just take care of business and win this anyways. The number screams you should not be jumping on Illinois with Terrence Shannon getting his feet wet the other day, looking great off the bench. 30 minutes, you have to assume he's I don't know, I didn't get the confirmation he's starting. Have to assume he's at least playing 30 minutes, whether it's starting or off the bench, so it doesn't really matter. 2.5, 3 is a little fishy there. So I'm going to back off. I'm going to say you should be interested a little bit here in Northwestern. But I am putting the caveat that there's a chance that Illinois is just that good. I think they are a top 10 team. There's a chance that they are just that good, and they will take care of business and win this game by a handful of points here. So I'm going to lean towards Northwestern, but at least I know sounds like I'm playing both sides, but I'm putting that caveat in there. I will go on record, say I'm leaning towards Northwestern, and I think they should take care of business. But it is a good measuring stick here now with Terrence Shannon back again to see how good this Illinois team really is. The other Big Ten game, again, I've been vocal about, and typically we at these shows here have been pretty vocal about staying away for the most part from both these teams, Maryland and Iowa. Iowa 5.5-point favorites at home here, but 11-8 Maryland, 11-7 Iowa. They have been kind of exactly as advertised and as predicted, about as hard to predict as you can possibly imagine. I can't remember if it was on the show or not. If it was, I apologize. I was definitely leaning Iowa against Purdue at home. This might have been over the weekend, so I don't know if this was on the show. I was definitely leaning towards Iowa at home against Purdue with the number, a 6-point number up against one of the top 3 teams in the country. They did not come to play really. No defense in that game and didn't take care of business. They had a nice little run. 2 out of 3 were at home. Had a nice little run before that, 3 in a row. And now Maryland had a nice little run. Now they've lost 2 in a row, Northwestern and Michigan State over the weekend. So I don't really know what to call with this one. I think Maryland is the better team, but you just don't know what you're getting from. We say Maryland as well. They, at least stylistically, you kind of know what you're getting. Iowa, you just don't. I mean, you know what style you're getting, but you could get a 50-point night from beyond the arc. You could get a 25-point night from beyond the arc. It's kind of a flip of coin there. So I will lean towards Maryland coming into Iowa and covering this game and maybe winning. But that's just me taking some value with the team that I think is just better. But having said that, Iowa could win this game by 20. So, again, I don't think you should jump into this one. If you had to, maybe take a look at Maryland there. I believe that was most of the games that I was interested in for college basketball here tonight. Providence at Seton Hall, 4.5-point line, a kind of a fair line there with two teams that are real similar. Seton Hall, the home favorite, 4.5 points there. Same thing kind of with Georgia and LSU. Neither of those teams, I guess Georgia kind of needs that game to continue building a potential outside shot for a nice tournament resume there. It would be more of a bad loss. Obviously not a bad team in LSU, but you know what I mean. Would obviously set them in the wrong direction there. NC State, Virginia is actually a pretty good ACC game. Obviously, 6-point spread for Virginia at home in that one. Virginia making some noise early in the season. We have been kind of quiet the last few weeks there. Haven't really taken care of business in some bigger chances that they've had. Lost at NC State 76-60. So to see them as 5.5, 6-point favorites, kind of a sort of a statement in my opinion there. So I will lean towards Virginia winning and getting that bounce back. They've won a couple in a row now. Home against Virginia Tech last week, at Georgia Tech over the weekend as short favorites there. NC State also a solid team. Both these teams, I think the winner of this game is going to have a nice head start on, kind of supplanting their tournament resume here. I think both these teams could and probably should be in the tournament. I think they're good enough to do that. But a loss would set them back there. So I'll lean towards Virginia taking care of business there. Outside of that, I don't think I had any other college basketball games to dive into here tonight. Let's see, just rolling right through it real quick. Couple other mid-major ranked teams that I haven't been as on top of as much, admittedly. So we will move on to the NBA here tonight, my friends. The first one up, obviously, if you've got to sit down for this one. The 4-39 Detroit Pistons are home favorites tonight. This is not me. Typically, this type of weird situation would lead me to say jump on the Pistons. They're 4-39. I am not doing that, I promise. Obviously, it is bizarre that this Pistons team, with how bad everyone knows they are, it's eye-opening to see them as favorites. They are 0-3 against the money line and spread as favorites. So do I think this could be the time? Absolutely. They're playing the Charlotte Hornets, who are 10-31. They're actually coming off of a win 2 days ago at Minnesota in that game that you saw Cat have 44 at half or whatever it was. Set the franchise record. Timberwolves kind of fell apart, obviously, in the second half. I didn't watch it. Sounded like they were kind of hunting for a Cat 70 bomb there. But nonetheless, this is obviously a bad Charlotte team. Unless October 27th is preseason, but their last game, whether it was preseason or regular season, I don't remember. The Pistons actually won. It was one of their wins of the season. Let's double check. Yeah, that would have been regular season. So that was one of their first win of the season, maybe. So obviously, kind of leads you into them being potentially favored here. That was on the road there. So not making too much of it. I'm certainly not jumping into the Hornets as road dogs against the 4-39 Pistons. If you got LaMelo, maybe LaMelo will, maybe we will find out that LaMelo is out, and maybe that's why this number is here. But according to my projected lineup, he is in the game tonight. Same with Bridges, same with Miller as well. So I'm going to back off of it. Just make note of it. Don't cannonball into the Hornets, because you're going to get an easy win against the lowly Pistons. This could be a night where they wake up a little bit and flex. I shouldn't say flex their muscles. They obviously haven't shown that they have any muscles, but draw a line in the sand a little bit and win one at home. It's not a situation. They are tanking at this point, but they would like to. They've got some young players that they like, so they want to win some games. So it kind of makes it even more shocking that they've done this poorly, but nonetheless, definitely just beware of the Charlotte Hornets. That is what I'm telling you tonight. You got 2 or 3 games all at the 6:30 window, 6:30 and 7 o'clock window that are about a 10.5 point spread. Minnesota, Washington, Memphis, Miami, and Portland and Houston. So kind of, I mean, two of them are home favorites in that situation. I'm gonna back off of both of those home favorites, not diving into that Washington situation, but you've got the Wolves, who were kind of questioned by their coach. This is Wolves Wizards, 11-point favorites on the road for the Wolves. Wolves coach kind of questions the team effort, or maybe not effort, but motives in that Karl-Anthony Towns performance the other day, like I was talking about there. So maybe they wake up and put the hammer down because they don't want that stink on them. They lost that game. So I will lean towards the Wolves on that one. Not really sure. I mean, I think one of these home favorites will fail to cover here against the Grizzlies, against the Blazers, but I'm not going to try and dissect that one too much there. Phoenix and Dallas is another one that should be a good game here. Dallas is actually the road dog here. The other day on Monday I was talking about the Mavericks at home against the Celtics. They were it looks like by game time they might have been dogs there. Actually, no, they were dogs on that one. I'm sorry. So it was bizarre that it was as close as it was with how good the Celtics have been, even on the road. Some of the big spreads they've had. Obviously, part of that was because the Celtics were coming out on a back-to-back. The Mavericks had like a 4-day rest period in that situation. They're 2-point dogs now to the Suns, who obviously have been playing really, really solid. I think 6 in a row. Came back against the Bulls the other night. Looked like they had some wear and tear on them in that game. In the first half, they obviously showed up, and the Bulls kind of fell apart in that second half there. I do, however, see that Luka is questionable in this one. Obviously, that would lead you into why the Dallas is road dogs against this Phoenix team. They obviously are very close on paper record-wise. So this one is kind of weird that the Mavericks are home favorites in this one. If Luka is in and everyone is active, I think it is fishy that they are underdogs. If he is out, that is why they are underdogs here. So definitely want to make sure you figure out what's going on with Luka. This one is a 7:30 ABC game, actually 8:30 East Coast time there. So I'm going to lean towards the Suns in this one. But again, if Luka, this is one of those weird injury situations that we talk about always, where it doesn't make sense. I'm going to sound like a crazy person when I say it, but I'll say it again. If Luka is in and this one doesn't move and it's still Dallas as underdogs, then you should be concerned with why Dallas is underdogs. If Luka is out and this is accurate and it still stays right around at 2, that might be fair, but Dallas still can take care of business without him. They've proven that they can. Obviously, they're better with him, but they've proven that they can still take care of business without him. So you might be concerned about the Phoenix Suns, who've won 6 in a row there. But I will digress on that point a little bit there, but at least got to be aware of what's going on with Luka there tonight. San Antonio 8-point dogs at home against the OKC Thunder, 30-13 Thunder. It looks like they've got most if not all of their lineup and depth as well tonight. Spurs Wembanyama in the house tonight. But an 8-point spread against a very, very good, a very good Oklahoma City Thunder team. Single-digit spread is worthy of concern here. This is a situation where the Spurs have been 8-point spreads against. This is typically where you see the Spurs as dogs against a 500 team. For example, even in San Antonio, there you've got the Thunder coming in 3 in a row at Utah, at Minnesota, home against Portland, which was last night. So part of this is a back-to-back situation here. But at the end of the day, a single-digit spread. This one's typically where my radar goes up as far as being halfway interested in the Spurs here. It's still a bad Spurs team, 8-35. They've been a little more competent and consistent these last few games offensively, 120 or more in each of their last 3. So maybe I'm more interested in the team total here tonight, 242.5 on the full game total, 116.5 on the Spurs team total there. But I wouldn't cannonball into the Thunder thinking you got an easy win against the Spurs here. This is typically the spot where my radar jumps up. Even in that back-to-back situation, the Thunder, a single-digit spread here against the 30-13 Thunder team is going to put my radar up, and I'm going to go with the Spurs tonight. Other one, Atlanta and Golden State. Golden State 6.5-point favorites against the Hawks, I believe, without Trae Young. So tough one to call there. I had this Hawks team was on my radar as a team that was going to start rattling off some wins. Obviously, now Trae Young is out. They've lost a couple in a row. Offense has not looked good in both of those 2 games there. So despite how mediocre Golden State has been, and actually the last week and a half or so, taken a step down. They've lost 4 of their last 5. don't want to say it's a statement for Golden State there with a 6.5-point spread, but at the end of the day, I am not jumping in the deep end with either of these teams. 235.5 on the game total kind of is a statement with that, with the way the Hawks have been playing offensively the last two. Had a 232 total go way under because of their offensive performance. Had a 238 total go under by about 10 a few days ago in Sacramento. So I guess I'll say their offense wakes up and this game total goes over. That is where I would go with this one, is the over in this Atlanta and Golden State game. But probably not a game that I'm going to be too interested in with the injury of Trae Young on that one there. So kind of losing my voice a little bit on this one. So I am just about all done on this front anyways. But aside from that, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. This was a fun basketball capping for the evening slate of college and NBA going on tonight. Believe I will be back here with Jeff Dawson tomorrow, Thursday afternoon, breaking down everything. Maybe throw in some golf tomorrow. Maybe throw in some NHL with Jeff as well as maybe look into what's going on this weekend in the NFL championship games, NFC and AFC championship games there. So stay tuned for that. Obviously, plenty of shows outside of just myself and Jeff as well on these ECSI airwaves. So keep your eyes and ears open for that one. But aside from that, I hope everyone has a fantastic evening and has any good luck with anything they've got going on tonight. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Thank y'all for stopping by.